How's it going, guys? Tundrum here, back with another video. And today I'm going to be showing you 7 insane 2-card infinite combos to put in any of your EDH decks. Make sure to stick around to the end because the strongest combo is number 1. Anyway, let's get right into the list with number 7. So taking the number 7 spot on our list is Intruder Alarm plus any creature that taps to create creature tokens. So Intruder Alarm reads, creatures don't untap during their controller's untap steps, but whenever a creature comes into play, untap all creatures. That means if you have a card like Krenko, Presence of Gond, or Fraben Doomsayer, you can tap it, create a token, it becomes untapped. Rinse and repeat, and then you have infinite creatures on your board. This should be enough to win you the game in almost every situation, whether that's by attacking the next turn or any sort of interaction that benefits you for having creatures. So coming in at number 6, we have one of my personal favourites, the really huge dragon combo. So what this requires is Enduring Scalelord plus a copy of it. However, the best card to copy this with is Altered Ego. So, Enduring Scalelord is a 6-mana 4/4 flying dragon, and it simply says, whenever one or more +1/+1 counters are put on another creature you control, put a 1/1 counter on Enduring Scalelord. Now you can see where this is going. If you have 2 Enduring Scalelords, they just infinitely bounce off each other. Now Altered Ego is the perfect card for this, as it enters as a copy of anything with X +1/+1 counters. So all it takes is to play an Altered Ego on an Enduring Scalelord, and suddenly you have 2 infinitely big dragons. Simply fling one of these at your opponents, or just attack with them, and you're likely going to win the game. On top of all this, the fact Altered Ego can't be countered also adds to this combo's resilience and makes it harder to deal with from your opponents. So coming in at number 5 is a very well-known combo, but very powerful nonetheless. We have the Infinite Damage and Life combo. So to get this combo off, you simply need a card that says whenever you gain life, an opponent loses that much life, and whenever an opponent loses life, you gain life. The most famous example of this would be Sanguine Bond plus Exquisite Blood, but you can also swap out Sanguine Bond for a Starscape Cleric, or Exquisite Blood for a Bloodthirsty Conjurer, or any combination of these. And there are other cards in Magic that have this effect as well. These are just the most popular. This is a super easy, low-cost combo to set up and will immediately win you the game if your opponents can't deal with it. Now, taking the number 4 slot is another personal favourite of mine. I actually tried to make this work in Standard back in its time. We have Ral's Storm Conduit plus Expansion Explosion. So Ral's Storm Conduit is a 4-mana planeswalker that does 1 damage to an opponent whenever you cast an instant or sorcery. Now, we're not interested in his Scry ability. Look at his -2. It says when you cast your next instant or sorcery spell this turn, copy it. You may choose new targets. Now, we're going to ignore the explosion half of Expansion Explosion and just look at Expansion, which is 2 mana to copy an instant or sorcery with converted mana cost 4 or less. So you see where this is going. Activate Ral's -2. Cast Expansion targeting whatever. Create a copy of Expansion, targeting the original expansion, which creates a copy of Expansion, which targets that expansion. Infinitely casting these expansions. They don't do anything, but this is where Ral's 1 damage ability comes in. You're casting infinite spells, so you can just immediately do infinite damage to all of your opponents. I love this combo, because it's not even doing anything, but at the same time, it's just an instant win on its own. Coming in at number 3, we have the newest infinite combo on the list. This infinite combo is Illtempered Loner plus Angelfire Ignition. So Illtempered Loner, both of his werewolf sides have the same ability, so it doesn't matter what side he is. He's a 4-mana 3/3 that says whenever he's dealt damage, it deals that much damage to any target. Now Angelfire Ignition, which was actually printed in the set before Illtempered Loner, is a 3-mana sorcery that puts 2 1/1 counters on a creature and gives it Vigilance, Trample, Lifelink, Indestructible, and Haste. Now what matters here is the Indestructible and Lifelink. You give him +2/+2 and Indestructible and Lifelink. He then gets dealt damage. He damages himself, gaining you some life. But because he's indestructible, he can't die. So then, because he's been dealt damage, he deals damage again to himself, gaining you some life. Because he's been dealt damage, he does damage again. Infinitely gaining you infinite life. What a simple but awesome combo. Now coming in at number 2, we have probably our most popular combo, which is Heliod plus Triskelion, or a variety of other cards, which I'll cover soon. So Heliod's a god, 3 mana indestructible, which already makes this combo quite resilient, which says whenever you gain life, put a 1/1 counter on target creature or enchantment you control. And he can also pay 2 mana to give another creature you control lifelink until end of turn. Now both of these abilities are very relevant, because if we look at Triskelion, he enters with 3 1/1 counters, and you can remove a 1/1 counter from it to deal 1 damage to any target. You give Triskelion lifelink, and suddenly it can infinitely machine gun everything and all your opponents down, and gain you infinite life. This also works the exact same with Walking Ballista, which has the exact same ability, remove a 1/1 counter from it, and it deals 1 damage to any target. Simply give the Ballista lifelink from Heliod, and you immediately win the game. Now, another variation of this combo I don't actually see used as much, but I arguably think is almost more powerful, is Spike Feeder plus Heliod. Spike Feeder says remove a 1/1 counter from it to gain 2 life, and it enters with 2 counters. Reason I think this could be more powerful, even though it is only infinite life, not an instant win, is the fact that you don't have to pay the 2 mana to activate Heliod's ability. You can simply play Spike Feeder, and it will infinitely chain off itself with Heliod, as it gains you life from removing the counter. So that's a neat little combo to make this work with as well. Now finally, taking the number 1 spot for my top pick in this video to put in your EDH deck is Freed from the Real plus Selvala, Bloom Tender, any creature in the game that produces more than 1 coloured mana. There is over 20 cards that just on the surface have been printed that combo with Freed from the Real. Now what Freed from the Real does is it's a 3 mana aura which is enchant creature, pay 1, untap enchanted creature. Simple. Just get any creature, all of them are showing on the screen now, but this is only a fraction of them, that can get you more than 1 blue mana, and you immediately produce infinite mana, probably winning the game. What a nice, simple, easy combo you can sneakily throw into any of your decks, because Freed from the Real isn't the most playable card without the combo, but all these mana creatures are, so there's a very little expense to putting this combo in your deck. Anyway, that concludes this video. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, make sure to smash down on that subscribe button, and hopefully I can see some of you destroying your opponents with these combos. Let me know down in the comments below if you've ever tried one of these. More videos to come soon.